Atelier or Excellence Playa Mujeres? Who did it better? Well, I've been to both, so in this video, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison and tell you, in my opinion, who did it better. Let's start with the overall look of the resort. If you're looking for a newer resort, Atelier definitely wins on this front. Excellence is a little bit older. It's showing some wear and tear. But the two resorts have completely different looks. The Excellence is more of that tropical vibe. Atelier has that more modern boho vibe. For me personally, I preferred the Excellence tropical vibe, even though it's a little dated. Next, let's go to the rooms. This one was really hard to pick a winner because Atelier definitely won for being newer, more modern, and I loved that the bathrooms were separate from the bedrooms. While Excellence, you can see the wear and tear, and they have this opening between the bedroom and the bathroom. But Excellence had a lot more room categories and options for non-club level. At Atelier, you have to upgrade, and it's very expensive to get the better rooms. So I actually liked my room better at Excellence. It was the 2-story plunge pool suite, even though it was showing some wear and tear. Next, let's go to the pools. And I'm not a huge pool person, but I've done enough reviews where I know what people are looking for, and that is a large main pool that has activities and swim-up bars. So both of these resorts have that. I think Atelier does a little bit better just because the main pool's bigger and it can accommodate more people. Also, Excellence has this weird lazy river layout, and Atelier has a really nice little quiet pool, which I spent a lot of time at. In both resorts, if you upgrade to their club level, you have access to extra pools. But at both resorts, you would have to get up early to save seats. I think it's a little bit worse at Atelier because it attracts large groups. Either way, if you are really a pool person, you might prefer Atelier over Excellence. Now for the beach. Now this was the biggest difference for me because I am a huge beach person, and even though they are located almost right next to each other, the beach experience for me was completely different. Atelier has a very weird beach setup. All of the chairs are located behind this greenery, so your view of the ocean is blocked. They do have some that are ocean front, but not enough, so people are pulling chairs up. And even further, the chair game at this resort is terrible. Now, I'm sure if you upgrade to the Inspira level, you have a much different experience, which I wanted to do, but they were sold out, so I wasn't able to do that. Now, Excellence, I was upgraded to the club level, so maybe it's hard to compare because I was in the club level section getting that type of service, but even the setup alone of the chairs is a lot better at Excellence. Now, in terms of the seaweed issue, I went to these resorts in 2 different months. So for Atelier, I went in January, which there was not much seaweed at all. The water was really clear, and Excellence, I went in November, which there was some seaweed. You could still swim in the water, but it definitely was an issue. But I would still personally choose Excellence over Atelier if you are a beach person. I just felt it was a much better experience. What about the food and the cocktails? Well, Atelier is supposed to blow all of the other resorts away when it comes to dining experience. And I personally was not blown away. I do feel the restaurants are beautiful. The presentation is amazing. The service is great. But I didn't feel the food quality was that much better than Excellence. Although Atelier did have a lot more options, especially when it came to a lunch buffet, which I like, and Excellence did not have that when I was there, although they are supposed to have it now. And restaurants with the ocean views is something that's really high on my list. And Atelier had one that was close to it, but you couldn't really see the ocean from it, versus Excellence, they had the Lobster House, which really has beautiful views. But Atelier definitely wins when it comes to the decor and ambience at the restaurants. It also wins for the mixology game. I had some of the best cocktails that I've ever had at Atelier, and their bars and bartenders are just off the charts. Now at Excellence, I also had amazing cocktails. They actually had Patron, which is one of my favorite tequilas, and I had some of the best margaritas in the world, but I really couldn't compare it to the experience that I had at Atelier. Now for the service, it was a little hard to compare because I was not able to upgrade at Atelier versus Excellence. I was in the club level, so I definitely got an elevated experience when it came to service. Another thing about Atelier is that it attracts large groups and conventions, so it definitely puts an added stress onto the staff, and I feel like you can kind of feel that when you're at the resort, and it changes the vibe up a little bit. Another thing I wanted to mention was the layout of the resorts, which is really important to me to have a walkable resort, and Excellence wins hands down for me in this category because Atelier had a very strange layout. It was difficult to navigate. There was a lot of walking involved, versus Excellence, I felt it was more open and you could walk it very easily. And I almost forgot to talk about the activities and nightlife, and I think both resorts do really good with the daytime activities. They always have something something going on. But at night, I definitely feel Excellence did a little bit better. While Atelier did have a club and they had some things going at night, Excellence always has a themed party every single night, and I just felt like it was a little bit more fun. And finally, let's talk about price. They are pretty comparable when it comes to price, but at times they can be very different. And again, they do have club levels, but the Inspira club level at Atelier, I think, is way more than the one at Excellence. And it does depend on the time of year. And I think Atelier has kind of gotten a big head because they've gotten so many awards. So they've raised their prices because of that. And Excellence is undergoing some renovations. So I think you could probably get a better deal at Excellence. And in my personal opinion, I would go back to Excellence over Atelier. I didn't think it was worth the hype personally. And I just preferred the overall vibe. I loved the beach better. I loved the layout, and I liked the room categories better. And this is not a sponsored post. This is my honest review of both resorts. I would love to hear your experiences, so drop those in the comment section below. And I'm very excited because at the end of June, I will be going to Secrets Playa Mujeres. So when I come back, I will do a full comparison of all three resorts on my YouTube channel. So keep following 3 Days and Trace